Hey, how are you? I'm so excited. We have a very interesting topic today. First off, I want to welcome you to the Wellness Money Talk with your host, Dr. Ndidi Ihim. And we're going to be talking about using food as medicine. So basically, eating your food and using it as medicine. I promote people understanding the benefits of eating clean and eating well, and using that to replace some certain aspects of maybe the regular pharmaceutical medications that you might be taking. I don't, as a pharmacist, I hate taking medications, even if I'm a pharmacist, but I do, understand that sometimes you have to be on those medications and then integrate eating properly and eating well to what you already are doing. And with time, I've seen people who end up, they've been able to reverse certain illnesses just from how they eat and not needing pharmaceutical drugs. But today, I wanted to shed a little bit of light on what that looks like. How can you do that, right? So if you think of back in the day, even before pharmaceutical companies came up or, pharmacies, the way people treated themselves back in the day was through the earth, things that grew in the ground. So herbs and, different vegetables and fruits, everything had a purpose, right? But with time, and things just getting easier and a lot of, industries trying to make money, that part just is forgotten. No, people don't really know how to do that anymore. So let's start with the first things. There are studies that have shown that eating a certain way has reduced certain risk factors for a lot of disease states like diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure. There are studies that show that. And so if that's out there, why don't people talk about it enough? Why don't people know about this, right? I normally will counsel people on lifestyle modifications, lifestyle changes when they get their medications. But that's the most important part, because you can keep taking those medications as your medicine, but if you don't change certain things you do in your life, nothing is really going to change. You're just going to be on those things for a long, long time. So let's start from the top. Why don't you try eating a variety of foods? I don't sign off of telling people, hey, eat this particular group, eat only proteins, eat only this. I believe in still maintaining a balanced diet. And that looks like having a little bit of everything, but more on maybe eating the rainbow. And so when I say eating the rainbow, what do I mean? That means you have on each of your serving, every time you have a meal, you have a colorful variety of fruits and vegetables on the side. So you can eat the carbs, you can eat the protein, you can eat the fats, but don't forget to add that rainbow on the side. Now, let's break it down. So when I say eating fat, don't run away from it, because even regular vitamins and supplements, if they're the good kind, they contain an element of fat, because that's how your body digests those things you eat, because they get absorbed into the fat and then it goes into the cells, and then that's how the different nutrients, some of them get pulled out of the vitamins and work on the cells that they need to work on. Sometimes when we tell people, you could take this food or this medication, make sure you eat it with some kind of fat, and you tell them, have an ice cream with it, something like that. It's because the way our body is, those two things, they have to go together. So now don't go out there eating all different kinds of fat. The good ones I would recommend will be you eat like avocado oil or avocados themselves. Those are great. They're very essential for our brain function, our skin, and just reversing a lot of different things if that's part of your diet in the long run. Olive oil. Olive oil is amazing. Let me tell you a story, right? A few years ago, I went to go do a physical. And when they got the result of my blood work for the cholesterol part, they were amazed because my LDL was like, it was so low. It was ridiculously low. They hadn't seen that. And I think it was like 40. So, LDL is like the bad cholesterol. And people who have like an LDL, if the number is like 100 and above or something, then that's crazy bad. Or I think it's 60 and up, depending on if you're a man or a woman. And they kept asking me, what do you eat? How do you eat? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't do any kind of crazy diet. Yes, at that time I was working out. I would go to the gym a few times a week. I normally do 150 minutes minimum at when I'm working out. And the thing when I thought about it and I sat down, I was like, oh, yes, it's olive oil. I've been when I fry and I cook, I'm using olive oil to do all of that. So that was very important. And I was like, yes, I recommended it to everybody. That's how I cook at home. And just because for me, I needed a change because I had very severe and bad acne. So olive oil was amazing. So that's my story there with olive oil. Another thing that you might want to think of is maybe adding more whole foods and fibers into your diet. So, if you like, and let me put it out there now, some of these whole foods, and whole fibers, they come with gluten. So if you're not able to eat gluten, then that's something that you have to kind of keep in mind. If you're sensitive to gluten, you might have to find a different way of trying to get, your whole wheat or whole foods from that. But essentially, those foods, they look like, maybe legumes and some grains, whole grains. They are fibers, which is very good. When you take fiber, it goes into your body and it pushes out a lot of the toxins and chemicals and things that haven't been able to get pushed out. So it's kind of like a mechanic, like a manual mechanic that goes in there to push them out. So if you have a diet rich in whole grains, that's essentially what it does for you. So that's very important. And then, let's talk about fruits and vegetables. You will hear me say this so many times. I can't even count how many times I keep saying this, but fruits and vegetables, especially those that are colorful, very colorful, they're high in antioxidants. And what are antioxidants? Antioxidants are things that fight against oxidation, things that fight against aging, that fight against the breakdown of our cells. So if you're not eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, essentially then you have a lot of aging processes going on, a lot of breakdown of your cells. That's when you start getting ill. That's when you start getting sick. That's when a lot of these toxins that have been building up in our bodies, they go back into our bloodstream and they start sitting on different organs and cells. And then that's when you have expressions of different illnesses. So somebody could say, oh, I have diabetes now, Alzheimer's, heart issues, because then those toxins go and sit on those cells. So women, maybe it's sitting on your ovaries and now you have a hard time conceiving, or you have, PCOS or fibroids, so they go in and sit on those different cells wherever they can find themselves and start expressing themselves as an illness because you don't have enough things supporting antioxidation. So that's something you want to really look into. And, if you take supplements, that could be a way of you getting that antioxidants as well. So a lot of fruits that have colors or vegetables, not just even green, but like even greater than green, like, the blues, the oranges, the reds, the yellows, those are very high in antioxidant levels. So essentially, when you take a lot of those, now your body is supporting antioxidation. So they go in there, the chemicals that come out from those colors, they go into our bodies and fight the bad cells. So now remember, we're thinking of using food as medicine, right? So if you have a lot of these toxins and things that are going back into our body because our body can't clear it out, think of those antioxidants that go back when we eat them. They go back into our bodies to start fighting those toxins, right? So they're fighting them. The more antioxidants you have, the more soldiers you have to fight those bad things. And essentially, that's how people start reversing. So when I'm working with people trying to implement functional medicine to help them reverse their illnesses, that is essentially what we're focusing on. Different things, depending on different disease states that they appear with, have solutions. So somebody could be like, okay, blood sugar, what's the relationship between blood sugar and cinnamon? Just regular things and herbs that you take on a normal day, or maybe not even know you could take them, or you're not interested in taking them, but they all have their functions. And so if you are out there and you're dealing with some kind of disease state and you're like, what is the solution? I'm tired of taking this big pills and medications. Nothing is working. I'm just managing it. Is this my life for the next 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? There is a solution out there. Make sure you get in touch with somebody that can help you see the natural side of things, the holistic side of things, and help you come through onto the other side to where this now essentially becomes your lifestyle. Because if there are some foods out there that you're eating and they're not good for you, but you haven't really physically seen a problem, or you can't really predict exactly what the problem will be if you keep eating it, then you're not going to make any changes. But if you were to sit in front of me and I told you, hey, you're eating a lot of this kind of foods, do you know this could essentially lead to some kind of cancer the more you eat it? Or, you're eating mostly this kind of food or bread or something. Do you know it could also lead to a lot of abdominal issues, gut issues, you having constipation, diarrhea, and you think that's normal? No, it's not. It's something else going on. And so a lot of people might have a lot of these different problems, and they're not relating their illnesses or their problem to be, that food could be a solution to it. And so I'm here to tell you that, yes, it's possible that you eat your medicine and still enjoy life. It doesn't have to be a limitation on everything. It doesn't have to be like starving yourself to have a solution to things, but that's the first step. And a lot of us, we're so gone into this habit of bad eating and the bad way we've taken food in for a long time, that we don't even know where to start. We're just like, I need to go to the gym and sweat it out. But then your mind is not even ready for that. Maybe you can start with little changes with the way you eat now. And when y'all are trying to eat healthy and do this vegetables and fruit and whatever else you can, make sure that it's the clean type, not the ones that are just sitting out there that have been sprayed with a lot of herbicides and pesticides, because the farmers are trying to prevent their crops from getting, destroyed from, pests. So try to find those ones that are organic as much as you can. And, when you take them home, wash them properly with maybe salt and water and vinegar. And so all those things are the things that I would say are things you could, those are the ways you could start little by little, build on it. Before you know it, it becomes a lifestyle. Before you know it, you're seeing changes physically. You feel better. Your energy is returning and all those great things. So those are the things I wanted to touch on today. I hope I was able to enlighten you in some form. And remember, join my texting community. I send out, tips and gems like this on the regular. Text wellness. Text the word wellness to 832-400-6829 and let's chat. Thank you and talk to you next time.